I cannot believe we are already at that point in our summer where it's time for me to actually sit down and put everything into my notebook of planning and actually get things done for the school year. Hi, I am Mimi, the Feral Southern Housewife. Welcome to my channel. And for those of you who have subscribed and already follow me over on Patreon, welcome back. This channel is a space for homeschooling families to add a little bit more whimsy and a little bit of magic for all ages to their everyday. So I invite you to come and join me while we talk about planning and planning breaks in the next school year. So in all of these years that I have done supplemental homeschooling, that I have done full-on homeschooling, we're doing virtual schooling, we're doing school at home, we're doing all the things. And in all the things that I have tried, there are two things that I know for certain. Number one, if you overplan, you will burn yourself out. And number two, if you do not plan for the breaks, you will not take them. I said what I said. When we get down to brass tacks about it, planning for the school year, even if you already have a curriculum that you use and you like to add your own thing to it, it's difficult to make sure that you give your kiddos a break and you give yourself a break from teaching, right? Oh, did I turn my mic off? No, I got a new mic. I'm not editing this out. Whatever, it's fine. The first step in planning your school year, the very first step, is to sit down and really think about your personal schedule, your schedule. Yes, your schedule. I'm not talking about 8 million doctor's appointments, even though we've got those. I'm not talking about all those. I'm talking about your personal schedule. What days are important to you and your family? What holidays are y'all celebrating? Whether it's the liturgical year for my Christian witch family, or it's the wheel of the year for my pagan and other witchy families. You need to think about birthdays. You need to think about big family events. These are all important things to have in your calendar, front and center, when you're making your plans. Because especially if you have a neurodivergent family like I do, trying to do anything the day before or the day after a big event is going to bring nothing but heartbreak and burnout and stress. And you're just going to say, screw it, and throw it all out the window. So make sure that you have all of that front and center. Now, I personally like to plan everything with a big spiral notebook. Why a notebook instead of a calendar? Because I can separate this, how my family does their school and how we live our life, which is by the seasons. So a big 5-star notebook, we've got fall, winter, spring, summer, and then extra notes for books that I want us to read, ideas that I'm having, things that aren't working, brain dumping, just a space to put all of that, you know. And I feel like this on top of a regular calendar is going to be really important. Coming in September, please keep your eyes open, especially over on my Etsy shop, for a homeschooling witchy planner that has both this kind of notebook style note and calendar by the week and the day. This will be a digital planner. You can print it out. It will be in PDF form, so you can print it out and add it to a an actual like binder if you need to, which is what I will be doing as well. I'm putting everything down here first, and then I'm just adding everything later. And I will be doing a video on what I do and how I use that in particular, because I've been using it over on my OneNote, and I've made my own kind of thing for a while, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. And it is a year round. It starts in September and it goes all the way around. So keep your eyes open for that. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to go back to drinking like 5 cups of coffee a day. So something else that I want you to think about is not just the big stuff in your family, but I want you to think about the way you can plan to meet their needs with their learning style. Even unschoolers need to plan. Even unschoolers need to plan. Whether you are using a curriculum or you're letting the child decide, you still need to plan. This is going to be a hot take for a minute, and I'm going to have some unpopular opinion here because I also do child-led learning, but the enrichment and guiding experience for our children is the parent's responsibility. So whether it's, I'm an unschooler and my kid just wants to be around horses all day, cool. Guess what? You can teach them math for like how much feed, budgeting, things like that. They can learn all about the anatomy, biology. They can learn about structures. They can learn about, measurements. They can learn about historical use. They can talk, they can even write poems and read stories about the horse. You can take what they love and turn it into how to learn. You just have to sit and actually take on that responsibility. I'm going to get off my soapbox with that one. I have done unschooling with my magpie, and it was to keep her off of the whole all she does is want to play on Minecraft all day trope. I took the responsibility to introduce her to new things, to take her to the library, to take us out into the community, to go and do different activities, and most of them were free. Or they were like less than $5, okay? To gain the experiences she needs to look at new things. So she's obsessed with Minecraft, she's obsessed with Pokemon, and I turned that into something new for her to explore and turned it into an actual curriculum. But I can do a breakdown video of that if you want to leave a comment and let me know if that's something you'd like to see. Being able to plan with their learning style also means you can take breaks with their learning style, especially over the long breaks, like winter, like long weekends, holidays, all of these things. As someone with autistic children, I need time to slowly gear us down into it, not up. We're not gearing up into the excitement because that's just going to make everybody spin out. But I take us from the transition from schooling down. We might have an activity or two, and then we do the activity. Remember, I talked about the day before, during, and after. And then after that, we slowly gear back into where we are. Spring break takes us about 2 weeks. Take like the weekend before the spring break helps us to gear down. We're still doing some activities. The weekend after, we take the full break. I don't do anything. I let them brain rot, let them have that time because everyone needs a chance to just decompress. And then before the end of the next week and the weekend, we come right back into it. So being able to meet them where they are is going to be imperative for breaks for them. Breaks for us. And I talked about this before, and I talked about making sure that we can transition well. How we're going to properly take breaks for us. We're going to take our planner from last year. Okay. We're going to look at what did our day look like. I have an example. Because we are also Waldorf inspired, like I like to keep that rhythm and expectation. We need just enough structure to keep the autism not melting down, but just enough wiggle room to keep the ADHD from getting to cramp. Anyway, I'm going to give you an example. So this was our Monday. This Monday is pretty full. I did have times. Normally with Waldorf Inspired, you don't have times. You just have the task because it's as easy as breathing in and out. However, I have found that with my autistic kiddo, she really needs that time. She likes seeing that structure, that rigidity. She likes checking the clock. So if she is working on something and we finish early, she can go take a break and go jump on her mini trampoline. She can do some stretches, anything that she wants to do for a minute to help her brain stay in that motion. And that's important. That's going to be an important tool for her as she gets older to be able to manage her time properly. So Mondays were also very themed. She likes themes. I like doing themes. It helps with our brains. So Monday was music and math. Those were our big blocks for the day. Friday looks very different though. Friday is very empty. So Friday was the day that Dad is off of work. We might have other appointment. That's when we can have kind of our mental break, because when Dad's home, it's weekend time. That's just how it's been for the last 4 or 5 years at our house. So Fridays for us, that is an art day, that is extra music, and we might do some math lessons and games, but more like board games, more like math video games. You know what I mean? So we're still having that enrichment. We're still having those lessons, but it's in a much different format. I would look at these and the notes that I have from in here, from my back, the back section where I wrote all this stuff down about like what is working, what is not working, what is my new schedule, what is something I want to see for the week, but also what is something that I feel she needs from the week. Do you know what I mean? Even if that means that I'm sitting and going, okay, so every 3 weeks, Friday is a popcorn movie day, and I find a movie that's similar or at least some kind of interest in what we've been learning about. But moving forward, that's what we're looking at, is having a little extra fun with it. Because if it's not fun, then what's the point? We can work really hard, but if there's no fun somewhere in there, what is the point? The other reason we have breaks, and I've touched on it already a little bit, is to keep us as the parent, guardian, the educator from having burnout and from giving up halfway through the year. Ask me how I know. Being able to meet multiple children's needs is also part of making sure we have our breaks. So it's not just having a break from teaching so I can plan, so I can grade, so I can hold accountability and report everything I need to. If your state needs to do that, please keep your records. I'm just saying. As it moves forward, I also need a break from holding that space, okay? As emotionally intelligent as we can be as parents, there is only so much space we can hold before we need space held for us. And whether that is partner, go and take the children elsewhere for the day, or go to your library with headphones and a drink and go tuck yourself into a corner, whether that is closing the door for a couple of hours and just letting them have their screens and saying nothing about it, just letting them have it, that's okay too. We need break days. We need break days to let our brain decompress, to remind us that we are human. Our needs are just as important. And setting that example in front of them and building that into your homeschool is going to also help your kiddos set healthy boundaries for themselves and know when their limits are. So I hope that this video has helped. I hope that you have some better ideas and that you remember to take care of yourself as we move forward. I will be having a video here as soon as I'm finished with it of my fall curriculum breakdown for my 3rd grader. We're going to talk about how we juggle everything in the next video. So I hope that you have a blessed day and good luck with your planning. Bye now.